Welcome to 7 Days of Rest and Sacred Renewal. Today we're on day 5 of the truth of nourishment. There's so much confusion about nutrition. Many people say they cannot distinguish between truth and agribusiness propaganda. But we know that eating a whole food, plant-based diet has been shown across the board to heal us and the planet as it has I. We are biochemical individuals by design, but in order to know the truth, we must look at some of the myths. Please allow me to share with you a little prose as we take 3 nice deep breaths in and out and allow ourselves to be here now, ground ourselves in this moment. The moon lays down her tired star as sunlight dances to God's sweet laughter. As water pours its cleansing lotion, and we release all notion of good and bad and self-made limits through the cracks of God. Get in. Today we're going to talk about the truth of nourishment, debunking the myths. We're going to talk about the calcium myth, the starch carbohydrate myth, protein myth, animal agriculture regeneration myth, biochemical individuality myth, the scarcity myth, and the dominion or domestication myth. Let's start with calcium. Let's get to the truth of the matter. In the words of one of the most successful ad campaigns in history, milk does the body good by supplementing the calcium needed to build strong bones. What this myth conceals is the fact that a diet heavy in animal products like milk creates in our body an undesirable state of acidity that the body's homeostatic mechanisms attempt to neutralize by withdrawing from our bones and the skeleton of our beautiful planet. Such truth revealed in the 2021 New Zealand documentary Milked. The corollary of milk does a body good myth is that calcium, though abundant in dairy, is otherwise the scarcest of terrestrial elements, at least in terms of bioavailability. Calcium, according to the story, is locked up like a treasure in the green vaults of the plant kingdom. Phytic and oxalic acids are the most prominent villains of this piece, holding on so tightly to the treasured calcium in plant food. Spinach, sesame seeds, almonds, yet we now know the truth. As we discovered in making plant-based milk, the truth sets us all free to eat plants, plant trees, and let earth rewild. Eating whole biodynamic plant food grown in rich healing soil gives us all the calcium we need. Let's look at the starch carbohydrate myth. There is a book of great value called The Starch Solution by Dr. McDougall. But starch for many is the satiating and alkalinity solution, not the obesity problem. Organic potatoes, organic fruit, beautiful carbohydrate-rich food from the garden is the gift from Mother Earth, especially when not poorly food combined with the myth we are to eat our animal friends. The protein myth is that we require much less protein than we think. Legumes, vegetables, nuts, sprouts, and seeds give us plenty of bioavailable protein and do not pollute and overuse water or toxify our planet in doing so. The animal agriculture regeneration myth. Wild, free animals and the beneficial insects promote regeneration much more effectively than the buzz of regenerative animal agriculture. Let us look at the following video by Helen Athro, a farmer, researcher, celebrated pioneer in the eco-organic methods, and owner of Woodley Farm.
the Woodley farm in California, we learned that we were managing relationships rather than crops, and that we wanted to focus as much on what we call free ecosystem providers. Over here in this right-hand corner, these are parasitized aphids, these brown ones, and parasitic wasps come into the system and take care of that pest. We have wild turkeys and lots of birds and snakes and spiders and all kinds of wonderful organisms. What we learned is that the more inclusive we were able to become, the more activities were done by the ecosystem, and we didn't have to worry about as much. So the less we did, when we gave up spraying, for example, we found out we had more and more pollinators, and we had better fruit set and better yield. We also found that our beneficial insects, we studied and found out which plants they liked and what farming activities they liked and didn't like, is that they too didn't like any of our organic sprays, and they really hated tillage, and they weren't particularly thrilled about mowing. So how could we move towards less and less of that? Because we want to have as many organisms, as much life in the system as possible, because whenever we kill something inadvertently through mowing, or less inadvertently through spraying certified organic sprays, whenever we kill something, we inherit its job. We have more to work. And then if we don't grow it, we have to mine it to add it to our crop.
Helen says, an old friend who is an organic crop consultant for several large organic farms and a small farmer in California has just told me he now agrees that grazing animals have a negative impact on beneficial insect habitat. We also learn truth in the communities of Sadhana forests.
You can see it here today. This is the beginning, and this is how it looks today. When we understood that we have this capacity and knowledge and experience now to reforest very arid lands, we said this could be used to address malnutrition and to address the creation of plant-based food security. If you look at aridity, this is the aridity projected for 2040, this is for 2070, and this is for 2100. And if you look at food insecurity, this is 2050 and this is 2080.
The biochemical individuality myth. We are biochemically individual by design. When we listen and honor this, we clarify a plant compassionate diet which allows us to thrive. We find a way to thrive on plants while sprouting and growing wild and cultivated food to meet our biochemical needs without returning to animal-based eating, which harms all life. The myth is, if we can't digest legumes, then we should be eating meat. Yet there's many, many ways to become individualized in this diet, such as a friend of mine who told me he couldn't digest lentils, and when they were soaked and rid of the phytic acid and sprouted back into life, he had no problem. The scarcity myth. The natural world is abundant and teeming with life. As seen on this land use map, we only use 7% of the land to grow the food humans eat. 43% of the growing land feeds domesticated animals. When we return this land to nature, we will be able to feed the world on 10% of the land we now use for growing. The rest can be left alone to authentically regenerate. And let's look at the last myth, so we all may live in truth. The truth is, we know how to live without killing. We were given permission to return way back in Genesis 1:29. I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of this whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. Were we given permission when there was no other option? There's many options to truth. And when we watch a beautiful cub with its mama from a distance when they appear, when we watch a ladybug and the fascination in my granddaughter's eyes, we know that life is perfect. We know that when left to be in truth, the earth knows how to regenerate. We know we no longer need to domesticate each other and imprison. We know that what we do for all our friends, including all sentient beings, we do for ourselves. May we all be blessed with the teachings of how to give life back, how to give the earth back, how to give the water back, how to be in a world but not of it. May we all return to truth. Blessings.